let's get right into this review for Honey Don't. Alright, so Honey Don't is directed by Ethan Coen. The film stars Margaret Qualley as Honey O'Donoghue. She's a private investigator looking into a trail of murder mysteries seemingly tied to a church in a small town located at Bakersfield, California. And to preface, I really didn't know what type of film to expect. Sort of went into this as blind as possible. All I knew was that Margaret Qualley, Chris Evans, and Aubrey Plaza were the main leads involved. Good enough for me. And now that I've seen the film in its entirety, I was honestly quite surprised with the screenplay's unforgiving visual direction and how the narrative presents itself as a neo-noir film paired with sprinkles of dark comedic elements here and there. Now with all of that being said, what did I think about the overall cinematic package here? Unfortunately, I thought this was a pretty messy package that didn't have all too many satisfactory notes to make any of the pivotal story beats feel memorable, even by the time credits rolled. So by the end of my screening, I thought there wasn't enough stability to the core foundation of this screenplay, and I found the story to come crashing down entirely by Act 3. And the true bummer to this is that the startup of Act 1 felt somewhat promising. I sort of dug the initial whodunit vibes paired with the mystery case, and Margaret Qualley's bold performance as the main lead had me curious to see how everything would unfold. And it's really somewhere by the middle point of Act 2 where I started to realize the story elements weren't connecting and meshing all too well. Just as the movie title suggests, there's quite literally a ton of honey please don't scenarios, but what we end up seeing is honey will do scenarios, and ultimately, Honey O'Donoghue's lack of sheer focus on handling her case from start to finish by being constantly distracted through her erratic love interests honestly led to what I deemed to be a variety of unnecessary subplots, misdirection, and an overall messy main story route that felt unrewarding each step of the way as everything started to feel like a hot jumbled mess. The majority of the plot felt like a half-baked experience that left me frustrated and wanting more concrete answers rather than the scattered ambiguous notes that I was left with. And this unsatisfying obscurity left me bamboozled in a negative light more often than not in terms of the sheer context to the main story itself. But despite this glaring flaw to the film, I will say that I still thoroughly enjoyed the entire cast and their acting presentation here. I thought everyone nailed their respective roles. This is an absolute bonkers storyline with some crazy character actions, and it sure as hell seemed like the cast committed fully to their roles and had a fun time doing so behind the scenes. So kudos to everyone involved. Also, I thought there were a few cinematic shots that were well executed within the various segments of the story, which helped to elevate certain scenarios in an effective manner. With everything being said though, my final score for Honey Don't is 5 out of 10. The film undoubtedly leaned more towards the disappointing side for me. I wouldn't say I wasted my time watching this film at the theaters, but it's definitely one I won't remember in the long run. The behind the scenes cast seemed to have a fun time though, and their energy exuded into the film, which was enough for me to appreciate the film a singular time. Anyways, thanks for checking this review out. I'll have more coming out next week, so stay tuned. As always, stay safe out there, and until next time, peace.